Hello and welcome back. We are now in the championship between Darien and Rye. I am Chris Thurlow, joined alongside Scott Hapgood for this championship matchup. And right off the draw, Rye able to get the possession.
Great possession there from number 7 on Rye. We don't have her name. I apologize. Just like in the last game, possessions are going to be key. We got both teams really concentrate on winning draws so they can create opportunities for their offenses.
Definitely draw so vital, as you saw if you were watching the Canaan game. Shea dominated that draw circle. Shea losing the first one to, unfortunately, we do not have their name. We apologize. Rye working it around. And a goal for Rye. That's number 2, Denver. Rose Denver. That's the first one of the game. Rye taking a 1-0 lead. Rye just able to catch that pass on the crease and finish in close on Spellman. Rye taking a 1-0 lead. Back in the draw circle. Here is Shea.
These two teams played twice during their regular seasons. Darien coming home away with victories in both games. Both games were very tightly contested. Two great teams playing for this CONNY South Championship.
And Rye wins yet another draw. In close. No goal. That was number 14, Driscoll, getting close there.
Riley Driscoll aggressively taking it inside the 8, but called for an infraction. I think she was using her free hand. Darien's got the ball and will now try to clear.
Here's Height working it up the field. Great redefend there from number 1, Lewis. Height able to get it by the restraining line. Here's Gallagher, excuse me. Here's Bauer-Friere to Kennedy. Kennedy with a great split dodge. Kennedy in close, just high on the bounce shot.
Great take by Bo Kennedy using left hand, right hand, shifty, quick feet, change of direction. Gets off a good shot, unfortunately not able to find the net.
Here's McCall. Bauer-Friere. What a save there. I think the goalie got a piece of it. That was number 12, Torgalker. It's a tough one. Here's Bauer-Friere. Here's McCall. McCall working it at X. McCall with a great hitch dodge. Bauer-Friere. And a turnover. Streaking down the field is number 6, Prim. PM. Great defense there. That's Fiveson with the turnover.
Great effort on the redefend from Darien. Clara Fiveson's able to come away with the ground ball, give her team another possession.
Here's Kennedy to Bauer-Friere. Here's Kraus. Kraus with the split. Kraus inside.
Great off-ball movement to create a dodging lane there from Kraus, and Rise caught in shooting space. Ellery will have a free position shot.
Here's Kraus on the free position. In goal is Elrich. Kraus versus Elrich. Physical play there from Rye. And Kraus with the turnover. That's Driscoll playing great defense. Very physical defense there, it looked like, from Driscoll. She's able to not get a call and force a turnover. Darien redefending. That's Galligan. Galligan using her speed to stay with her.
Great defensive effort from Mariah to crash on that free position shot. I was fairly surprised there was another whistle there, but credit to the referees who I think so far in the games we watched today have really allowed these girls to play high-level physical lacrosse as they prepare for their high school careers.
Here is number 2, Denver. Denver using her speed to run around.
Great check by 17, Kelty Shea, to create possession for her.
And Height comes away with the ball. Height turns it over, though. Here's Driscoll. Here's Howe working on Height. Here's Kraus defending Driscoll. Darien runs such an aggressive defense with that backer zone.
I'm so impressed with both teams having just played a game, a pretty high-level game, I'm sure, for both teams. You know, an hour earlier, come back out here and show great pace and fitness and work ethic to get up and down the field.
Here's Howe. Great stick there from Height, deflecting that one. And Darien will come away with possession.
Great ground ball by Olivia Marici.
Great clear here from Marici, taking it all. Oh, Marici struck in the head. No penalty there.
I love it. Let him play.
They definitely let Driscoll play on that 8-meter. That was one of the bigger hits we've seen today. Here's Galligan. And a bit of a disagreement here between the ref and the Rye coach. We'll take a pause. As play resumes, it'll be Galligan behind the net. Galligan over to Kennedy. Here's Kraus to Kennedy. Kennedy with the split. She is quadruple teamed by a swarm of Rye defenders, able to pull it out.
Fantastic defense from Rye, knowing when to come off their coverage assignment to double team, triple team. And great job by Bo Kennedy to retain possession, see the opportunity's not there and pull it out.
Here's Galligan. Over to Reedy. Here's Shea. Over to McCall. Darien really taking their time with this possession. Shea to Kraus. Look for Kraus to be the quarterback here and feed. Here's McCall. McCall driving. Double team. Great defense there from number 8, Donahue. Now Reedy. Reedy to McCall. And a great save there from Elrich. Darien looking to redefend. Here's Kennedy.
Really impressive defensive possession for Rye. That I'm so impressed by how quickly they come off their coverage responsibilities to double and shut down the dodging lanes, and a fantastic save from Dylan Ehrlich.
Rye cycling. Here is Driscoll. Driscoll guarded by Kraus. And a feed looking for Denver. Great defense here from number 13, Victoria Moneypenny. That was a great pass there from Komet. Looking in the crease. Unable to finish there was Rye.
Great ball movement from Rye. They seem to be fairly comfortable with the high-pressure zone defense that Darien's putting on them.
Great save there. And a goal for Rye. That is number 1, Lewis. It is now 2-0 Rye.
Great initial save from Molly Spellman. Unfortunately for Darien, Rye's able to retain possession and find an open player inside the 8 for the finish.
Lewis just able to scoop that one up in the crease and finish quickly on Spellman. Now back to the draw circle. It is Shea and Connect. Rye has won the 2 draws so far. Let's see if they can keep it up. And they can. Driscoll able to come up with that one. Rye on the fast break. Driscoll pushing fast. Driscoll, great defense there from height, forcing Driscoll out. Here's Knet. Over to Howe. Howe back to Knet. Here's Howe. Finding Denver. Great defense there from Moneypenny. Denver finds.
Great ball movement from Rye to find an open player. Shot hit the pipe. Great ground ball from Alice Miller, outlet.
Here's Marisi. Great clear there from Marisi. Her second great clear of the day. Here's Brubacher. Here's Shea. Now Bauer-Fier. To McCall. McCall working. McCall feeding. Here's Bauer-Fier in the crease. Great defense there from Rye to swarm any Darien offenders. Offenders. Getting anywhere close to the goalie. Here's Kennedy. Working on Driscoll. Great defense from Driscoll, not allowing Kennedy to go anywhere. Resetting is Bauer-Fier. Over to McCall. McCall with great hitch. McCall driving. McCall switching hands. And just over the net, that one goes. Able to trade possession is Galligan. Galligan pushing over to Kennedy. Kennedy looking to draw a shooting space there, not able to. Over to Shea. Shea to McCall. McCall down to Brubacher. Here's Reedy. Now Kennedy. Here's Reedy. Reedy with the... just rings off the post there. And Shea able to corral that rebound right off the post. And Shea nets her first in this game. It is now 2-1 Rye. Shea with the goal for Darien.
Great possession for Darien. Rocket shot from Caroline Reedy. Rings off the post. Kelty Shea showing great composure, handling that ball, collecting the loose change and finishing it.
Great play there from Shea. Now back to this draw circle. It's not going to be Shea taking it. It's going to be Kraus. Kraus versus Knet. Darien switching up the draw. They've been unsuccessful so far. Let's see if Kraus can change that. And Knet able to come away with that one again. Knet pushing fast on Bauer-Fier. Knet driving. Knet fires that one way wide. And Darien able to come away with that one. That's Fiveson with the backup. Spellman over to Fiveson. Fiveson up to Marisi. Marisi going for her third clear of the day, and she's able to get it past that restraining line.
Great composure from Marisi between the 30s, getting the ball from one side of the field to the other. She shows great confidence carrying the ball in traffic.
Here's Reedy. Now Kraus. They like this ISO matchup, it feels like. Here's Reedy. Got a cross check in the crease. Kraus gonna get an 8-meter here. This is a big opportunity for Darien to knot this one up at 2. Kraus gonna need to be fast, as last time there was a swarm of Rye defenders quickly. Again, Driscoll able to make the play on the 8-meter. Driscoll really swarming people on this 8-meter, causing 2 turnovers on 2 great opportunities. Here's Elrich. Up to Kometz. Kometz working in the crease, and another goal for Rye. That's number 9, Patel, netting her first, extending this Rye lead to 2. It is now 3-1 Rye. Great feed there from Komets to find Patel in the crease, and a one-on-one matchup between her and Spellman. That's really tough for Spellman to make that play. You are watching DAF Media. DAF Media is a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. This production is brought to you with great support from Terry and Nancy McGraw. Back in the draw circle, it is now Shea. Back in the draw circle instead of Kraus. Darien trying to do anything to win a draw. And Darien able to come away with that one. That is number 15, McCall. Great ground ball there from McCall.
I believe that's Darien's first draw control of the game. Critical time at going down 1-3. Desperate need for possessions. Hopefully, let's see if they can capitalize.
Here's Braverfier working on Denver.
Great pressure from Rye defense.
Here's Bo Kennedy. A lot of room to work with. Kennedy inside. And that Rye team really collapses on the crease. Giving these Darien attackmen no room to breathe. Here's Braverfier driving. Braverfier taking her time, settling it down. Over to Kraus. Over to McCall. McCall likes her matchup with Driscoll. Look for McCall to make a great feed here on the crease. And McCall, that one just gets probably stuck on the post there. That was a great save from Elrich. Playing that one with her hand, it looked like.
Great effort there on the redefend.
Here's Height.
Clarifies.
Now Kennedy. Now Galligan, one-on-one, and Galligan scores. Galligan able to net one on the turnover. Great goal there from Caroline Galligan to cut this Rye lead to 1. Darien really needing that momentum switch, and Galligan with a great play there. Great turnover there from Height.
And a great assist from Bo Kennedy, playing with her head up, finding her open teammate. I'm so impressed with the goalies on both teams. Both have made quality saves already, and just so critical. It's the best way to get the ball back to your offense, but making good saves and clearing it successfully.
Definitely Darien doing a great job, especially that redefend right there from Darien, able to cause a turnover, leading to a goal. Back here on the draw circle is Shea. Shea able to win the last one. That was McCall in the ground ball. And Denver able to come away with that one. Guarded by Kraus. Denver streaking. Denver with the great inside move. Great check there from Kraus. Now Driscoll. Over to Patel. Back to Driscoll. Back to Komets. Now here's Driscoll. Driscoll surveying. Great defense from Marisi. Here's Denver. Denver looking for Driscoll. That one just goes by. Komets able to retain the possession. Here's Patel. Patel inside. That's number 1. And a goal. Great goal there from Lewis. Able to net her second. Great feed there from Patel. Finding Lewis cutting backside. One-on-one with Spellman again. And able to net that one. Making it 4-2 Rye in this championship matchup.
Really impressive offensive patience from Rye, working the ball around the outside and waiting for cutters to come free inside the 8.
Spellman talking over with their defense, seeing where they went wrong, leaving wide open. It felt like was Lewis right in front of the goal. Darien really going to need to make adjustments on the defensive side of the ball, as Rye is able to find these open attackmen, and really it's an issue. And Kraus able to come up with the draw, and physical play there from Driscoll. speakers. And that will be the half. It is 4-2 Rye, and we will be back with second half coverage.
And thanks, Christopher. I just want to take a second to congratulate both teams on making it to the CONNY Championship and recognize the coaching staffs for Rye, Matt Pym, Justin Driscoll, and Melissa Worth. For Darien, Carly Schudel, Amanda Orvis, and Kira Thurlow. Kira Thurlow has been coaching in Darien Youth Lacrosse for over 15 years, and I can say that I feel fortunate that both of my daughters got to play for her. She's been a fantastic asset to the town, giving so much of herself and her time for this program. So congratulations to both teams and both coaching staffs for making it to the championship game.
Definitely congratulations to both teams, and we will be back with second half action right after this short break.
Are you enjoying this broadcast? If you like what you see on the DAF Media Network, please help support us with a donation. DAF Media is committed to education and broadcast excellence. Your support allows us to keep bringing you high-quality community programming while giving our student volunteer broadcasters hands-on STEM experiential learning of all parts of computer networking and video production. Your donations help pay for equipment, insurance, transportation, and our award-winning advisor, and make these broadcasts possible. To donate, you can scan the QR code shown here or visit our website at dafmedia.org. The link to donate is also in the description of this YouTube video. For those of you who prefer a more traditional approach, checks can be made payable to DAF Media and mailed to the address shown here. Any donation of $1,000 or more will be recognized as sponsors of our broadcasts for 1 year. Feel free to pause the broadcast to write this down. Thanks for watching and supporting DAF Media. This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
Hello and welcome back to this championship matchup between Darien and Rye. We just want to take a moment to congratulate three former Darien girls lacrosse players, the Humphrey sisters, who started for the Blue Wave and helped North Carolina win a championship. Chloe, Ashley, and Nicole make history. Never before have the three sisters on the same team won a national title in women's lacrosse. And a special shout out to Chloe Humphrey winning the Twarton Award. And we're back here with second half action between Rye and Darien. Rye winning 4-2. And the draw. Driscoll able to come away with that one. Darien struggling on the draws today. They did such a great job versus New Canaan. But Rye really putting up a very tough matchup. And a goal there for Driscoll. She goes all the way. She takes the ball all the way from the draw, all the way down, weaving through those Darien defenders and finishing in close on Spellman. Excuse me. Excuse me. Horn is now in net.
It was a great take by Driscoll. She's had a fantastic game, winning draws, playing great defense, sliding, creating disruption for the Darien offense, and also contributing on the offensive side.
Back on the draw, it's Kraus. It's really starting to come down here on the center of the field, and New Canaan able to, excuse me, Rye, able to come away with that one. That was number 2, Denver. Rye settling. Looks like they're just playing pass and catch. And Driscoll able to draw a shooting space here. Driscoll versus Horn. Darien gonna need to collapse quickly on Driscoll. And another goal for Driscoll, just putting that one right past Horn, using her speed, taking it quickly off the whistle, and just bouncing that one, and able to just sneak it past Horn, increasing this Rye lead to 4.
Great take there by Driscoll. Confident shot, low and away. Makes it very difficult for the goalie.
It is now 6-2 Rye in this championship matchup. Darien really needs to make some adjustments here. Darien definitely having trouble on the draw. That's definitely a big area of concern right now. And again, Rye able to come away with yet another draw. Here's how. Here's Kometz. Kometz to Denver. Denver guarded by Kraus.
Looks like Darien's moved to a man-to-man, woman-to-woman defensive scheme. They're face guarding number 14, Driscoll, with number 19, Alice Miller.
Some adjustments from Darien. Definitely, we're going to have an 8-meter here for Kometz. Kometz driving, able to get in close, and a goal. Kometz nets her first of the game. It is now 7-2 Rye. Great speed there from Kometz off the whistle. Gets in close versus Horn. And it's almost an impossible task at that point for Horn to save a one-on-one shot from right there.
Rye's really controlled the tempo of the game by winning possessions off the draw, keeping the ball in their offensive zone, limiting Darien's opportunities.
Back on the draw is Shea. Rye's draw control has been very impressive. Unfortunately, we do not have the number for, we don't have the name for number 7, but she's doing an amazing job on the draw control for Rye. Really dominating so far. Shea able to come away with that one. Great win there for Darien. Darien definitely needs to capitalize on this opportunity. Guarded heavily by Denver is Shea. Shea going to move it off to McCall. Here's McCall. McCall in close. McCall hit up high. A little shaken up is McCall.
Yellow card issued for stick check to the head. It'll be interesting to see here if Coach Thurlow wants McCall to go to the goal and try to score in this 8-meter or pull it out and play 7v6.
McCall's going to go.
What a save.
Great save there from Elrich. Darien is player up, so somebody can pressure the goalie. Great feed there from Elrich. Darien going to want to put a lot of pressure on this redefend. And Darien doing a great job. That's number 4, Barbara Friere. She is hit in the head as well.
Great effort on that ground ball from Sophie Bravo-Ferrar, giving Darien the opportunity to take advantage of this player up possession.
Here's Brubacher. She takes it in, gets in close. And another yellow card is issued to Rye. Darien is going to be 2 players up. And Brubacher going to get herself an 8-meter. Interesting to see if she elects to go to goal or takes it out. She's going to go to goal. And she's going to miss. And Rye able to back it up. That's such an unforced error from Darien, not backing up that 8-meter. Great backup there from Tracy.
Very unfortunate for Darien not to retain possession with two-player up advantage.
Here's Bo Kennedy on the redefend guarding the goalie. Great defense here from Bo Kennedy. And a timeout called from Rye. They were just stalling time there with the goalie. And we will be right back here on DAF Media right after this timeout.
This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
And we are back after this timeout. Darien triple teaming the ball in the corner. And Driscoll able to get out of it. Darien really going to need to put on pressure. They're 2 players up right now. Rye's doing a great job moving the ball and clearing it. Great defense here from Kennedy. Using the goalie here. She's going to throw a long ball. That's dropped by number 8, Donahue.
Sophie Bravo-Ferrar with a great ground ball. Darien still at least 1 player up.
Darien pushing it in. And a stoppage. look to be check near the head possibly. And Bravo here is going to reset it up top. Darien still one player up. Definitely going to look to capitalize on this opportunity. Here's McCall. McCall draws a shooting space. McCall is going to get an 8-meter. Dangerous with Driscoll right near, though. Driscoll has been so disruptive on these 8 meters so far today. McCall definitely going to need to use her speed to get by her or get a quick shot off. And a goal. McCall. Great goal there from McCall using her speed. As I said, quick shot from McCall. Just gets by Elrich. And Darien cuts this lead 2-4.
It was Darien's third free position shot attempt during the time they had a player advantage and were able to convert on the third one. Great job by the Rye goalie, Dylan Ehrlich, turning away the first 2 attempts. Chris, I want to just take a second to thank Darien Youth Lacrosse for hosting this 8th grade girls CONNY South tournament. Darien Youth Lacrosse has been around since 1986, developing players from 1st grade through 8th grade. Great support from the town, volunteers. Just a great program. It's really developed a lot of young players, girls and boys.
Definitely Darien Youth Lacrosse so prominent, especially in college. See a lot of players from Darien, especially as I mentioned earlier, the 3 Humphrey sisters all come from Darien, winning a national championship together. How special it must be for their family.
Great draw control from Kelty Shea. Give Darien an opportunity to try to score and close this goal differential.
Darien going to need to push it. Definitely not too much time to play with here. Here's Sutter. Sutter loses the ball. Shea in on the ground ball. Sutter in there. McCall in there as well. And that one goes off. Darien. Rye going to be able to retain the possession. Darien going to look to redefend. Here's Elrich. Elrich finds Denver. Denver going to use her speed to clear it. Denver working it all the way down the field. Guarded heavily by Bravo Friere. Rye taking their time slowing it down. No need to push anything with the 4-goal lead in the second half. Here's Kometz taking up time. Kometz taking her time, working it up top. Here's Howe. Now Connett. Taking her time, guarded heavily by Reedy. I would like to see Darien definitely press out here. There's not too much time to play with. Definitely going to need to force a turnover soon and get this ball back. And Howe is going to be able to retain possession here. Howe feeds to Denver. And a hold from Darien. Rye going to retain possession. Here is Kometz on the 8-meter. Kometz versus Horn. Kometz in. And a great defensive play there from Marisi to strip the ball loose. And now Kraus is going to look to clear. Darien going to need to move fast here. Here's Kraus working it up the field. Kraus, here's Barbara Ferrer. And a timeout is called by Coach Thurlow. Darien going to take this opportunity to really set up an offensive play and look to cut this lead to 3. We'll be right back here on DAF Media just after this break.
This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
We are back here after that short break. Darien most likely set up a play here. Here's McCall at X. McCall most likely going to look to feed. McCall one-on-one. McCall looking for Kraus. Here's McCall. Now Reedy. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy driving. Great defense there from Rye. Now Reedy. Reedy surveying. Darien clearing through for Reedy. They like the matchup. Here's Reedy. And Reedy snipes one. Top right. What a goal from Reedy, making it 7-4.
Great composure by Reedy. Dodging to her left, rolling back to her right, then re-dodging to her left, finding the seam to get a good shot off.
Darien, this draw is going to be so crucial now. Only a 3-goal game, but not much time left. Darien definitely needs to push the pace, win draws, and score quickly if they want to be the CONNY South champs. And Driscoll able to come away with that draw. Now Howe. Howe to Klonde. Here's Denver taking her time. Guarded by Kraus. And a stoppage. Worth with the ball, guarded by Brauer Ferrer. Back to Denver. Here's Denver driving, using her speed, getting in close, and it's stuffed there by Horn. Great save there from Addie Horn.
Huge stop by Horn to stop that threat, and a great outlet pass to Ellery Krause.
Krause being triple teamed. Krause all the way over to Marisi. Marisi, now Reedy. Now Kennedy. Here's Krause. Krause with the split. Krause was able to retain the possession, guarded heavily by Denver. Now Brubacher, excuse me. Here's Barbara Ferrer. Now McCall. Darien taking their time. I'd like to see them push the pace of play here. Here's Brubacher. Brubacher taking it in close. And what a save there from Elrich. And an errant play there. Darien able to retain the possession. Here's Sherman. McCall. Ball loose in front of the crease. Big scrum. And what a ground ball there from Reedy. Here's Barbara Ferrer. Darien looking to push the pace of play here. Here's Krause. Krause to McCall. McCall driving. McCall fires that one just high. Darien able to obtain possession. Here's Sherman behind the net. Sherman to McCall. Darien looking to set up that same play they did earlier. Here's McCall. McCall fires. Great save there from Elrich. And Rye with the ground ball right in front of the net. That's number 6, PM. And what a check there from Darien. Darien able to get the possession back. Here's Krause. Krause loses it. Scrum. And Rye able to come up with it. And there was a clamp on the ball, and Darien is going to retain this possession. Darien needs to capitalize quickly on this opportunity as time is running down in this championship match. Here's
wild sequence there. Great saves from the Rye goalie. Great ground ball effort from Darien.
Definitely a wild sequence. A lot of turnovers there. Darien still able to hold the possession. Here's Barbara Ferrer. Ferrer losing it. And Denver able to come up with it. Denver using her speed. Taking it all the way down the field. Darien going to need to most likely double team the ball now. Rye just going to move it around. Just playing pass and catch here as Rye. Darien really needs to start pressing out, and they are. Here's Shea with the great defense. Height now looking to double. Rye doing a great job moving the ball around, finding the open person. Because they're doubling, someone is going to be open. And Rye able to find that and really kill this clock down right now.
Darien needs to marry this ball pressure with shutting off the adjacent players. Rye's able to find outlet passes despite the high pressure.
Here's Kometz. Kometz to Worth. Here's Howe. Howe working on Marisi. Rye doing a great job of really dwindling this clock down. Just running out the clock. Great check there. Unfortunately, too close to the head there was Sherman. Rye going to retain possession. Here's Worth. Worth guarded by Height. Here's Denver, guarded by Shea. Denver working at X, taking her time. Darien really needs to start putting even more pressure on. Here's Denver, guarded heavily. And that is the game. Rye will be your 8th grade A Girls South CONNY champs, defeating Darien in the finals 6-4.
Congratulations to Rye on a great game. Really impressive, both ends of the field. I thought the difference was the specialty positions. They won majority of the draws, and Dylan Ehrlich was absolutely fantastic between the pipes for Rye. Congratulations also to Darien on a fantastic season.
Definitely. Congratulations to Rye. What a great season. They were so amazing on the draw controls today. Also an amazing season for Darien. Making it all the way here is an accomplishment in and of itself. I want to thank you, Scott Hapgood, for joining us in the booth today. Thank you so much for coming out and spending time with us today in this Girls CONNY South Championship and semifinal games. That will do it for us here on DAF Media. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your Saturday.